Good morning. Hope you're doing well. We got some snow yesterday here in PA, so May snow. April showers brings May snow, apparently. This morning, I was reading through Luke a little bit, and one of the verses in Luke had me thinking about the Proverbs. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who eat its fruits love it, I believe is. I'll read it here in a second. And it also got me thinking about the creation and speaking and words. So I'm going to read a few verses and then just share some of my thoughts on those verses. So the first one is Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. There's the HVAC going on. Perfect timing. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. I'm going to jump over to Luke, where I was reading this morning. This is Luke chapter 6, starting in verse 43. For no good tree bears bad fruit, nor again does a bad tree bear good fruit. For each tree is known by its own fruit. For figs are not gathered from thorn bushes, nor are grapes picked from a bramble bush. The good person out of the good treasure of his heart produces good, and the evil person out of his evil treasure produces evil. For out of the abundance of the heart his mouth speaks. And last thing I want to read is Genesis chapter 1, verse. We'll start from 1 and we'll read to verse 5. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God hovering over the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God saw that the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. So what this all made me think was, first off, about fruits and what we know about fruits. A fruit also in it, a fruit is a seed. A fruit is its seed. From the seed comes the fruit. And if we're told death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who eat it love its fruits, that means when we speak, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. Proverbs 18, verse 21. So we know that when we speak, we're speaking, our fruits are what comes from the overflow of the heart, as we're taught here in Luke. Luke chapter 6, verse 45, the good person out of the good treasure of his heart produces good, and the evil person out of the evil treasure produces evil. For out of the abundance of the heart his mouth speaks. And prior to this, he talks about each tree is known by its own fruit. So if we're speaking fruits, we're not only speaking either death or life, good or bad. And then in the beginning, when God said, "Let there be light," those were his first words that we have recorded that were spoken. We're also planting seeds. And it again goes to the importance of when we speak, not only are we planting seeds, but we're creating. We're either creating love and goodness and kindness, or we're creating strife and evil. And that's what this says. And I believe it also goes beyond not only the fruits of our mouth, but it starts in our thoughts. So that's my encouragement for for you all, and I've said similar things like this before. And it's written to guard our hearts and our minds. So go over these verses. Proverbs 18:21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. Luke chapter 6, starting in verse 43. For no good tree bears bad fruit, nor again does a bad tree bear good fruit. For each tree is known by its own fruit. For figs are not gathered from a thorn bush, nor are grapes picked from a bramble bush. The good person out of the good treasure of his heart produces good, and the evil person out of the evil treasure produces evil. For out of the abundance of the heart his mouth speaks. And again at the beginning, Genesis 1, God speaks. And the first words that we have recorded that he says, in verse 3, God said, "Let there be light." We can create love, we can create light and goodness by reflecting God's love and by reflecting him. And what did he do? He spoke. And when Jesus spoke, he spoke to repent. I hope you understand what I'm saying here. I know these can be scattered, but again, I can't give what this is saying justice, and I'm sowing seeds, and I know God will do the rest. Whatever his will is, will be done. And I pray that all of you listening or watching will think about this. Think about these verses and go beyond just these verses. You dive into this more and ask God for understanding. Hope you have a great day. Enjoy this crazy weather we're having here if you're in Pennsylvania. From 70 degrees last week to snowing this week, and it'll be back up in the 70s and thunderstorms. So we get it all. We get it all. Choose to speak goodness. Choose to speak love and produce good fruits. If a fruit is also a seed, as we speak, we're planting seeds. Plant good seeds, not only in others, but in yourself, and especially with your family. If we're called to be like Christ, Christ gave up his life for his bride and his children. And I pray that we are able to sacrifice like him for our families out of love. So I love you all. I hope you have a fantastic day. And speak love. Create love. Speak good fruits. Let the overflow of your heart be a good fruit. Because that fruit will plant a seed. And when that seed grows, it will be good. Be love. Be light. Have a great day.